It's midnight and you're tuning in to Nightline with me, Natasha Busst. The top stories. Myanmar hit by fresh 5.1 aftershock as death toll soars past 1,600. And Ideal Fitri Bazaar chaos during BBKL enforcement operation, balloon vendor receiving treatment at Serdang Hospital. Myanmar was hit by a fresh 5.1 magnitude aftershock on Saturday, a day after powerful earthquakes devastated several neighboring nations. According to the United States Geological Survey, USGS, the latest tremor struck near Pinmana, approximately 24 kilometers from Nay Pi Thaw, at about 2:50 p.m. local time, with tremors felt across Laos, Thailand, and parts of China. The aftershock occurred at a depth of 10 kilometers and impacted many of the same regions already battered by Friday's major quakes. The USGS said the region had already experienced at least 12 aftershocks since the initial major earthquake near Sagaing, with magnitudes ranging between 2.8 and 7.5. However, the full extent of damage and potential casualties from the latest aftershock remains unclear as rescue and relief efforts continue. So far, Mandalay, Bago, Magwe, northeastern Shan states, Sagaing and Nay Pi Thaw have been identified as the hardest hit areas. Earlier, Myanmar's military rulers let in hundreds of foreign rescue personnel after the death toll from a powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake rose to more than 1,600 as more bodies were pulled from the rubble of buildings that collapsed when it struck near the country's second largest city. In a statement, the junta said that 1,644 people have now been found dead and another 3,408 injured, with 139 others missing nationwide. The statement suggested that numbers could still rise, saying detailed figures are still being collected. According to data from the USGS, the March 2025 quake is the most powerful to strike Myanmar in over a century, and death toll could top over 10,000 people. Rescue efforts are currently underway to save those who remain trapped under collapsed buildings. However, the search has been hampered by shortages of heavy machinery, and survivors are using their bare hands in the absence of equipment. According to Myanmar's military council, in Mandalay alone, where the quake hit the hardest, more than 3,000 buildings have been damaged. Myanmar, one of Asia's poorest nations, is reeling from a civil war sparked by a 2021 military coup. Weak infrastructure makes it ill-equipped to deal with major natural disasters, while communications blackouts and damaged roads are also making it challenging to reach people who need help. Friday's 7.7 magnitude quake crippled airports, bridges, highways, and thousands of other buildings in the country. Over in Thailand, rescue efforts are focused on a collapsed 30-story building which was under construction at the time the earthquake hit, and where dozens of workers are believed to be under the ruins. So far, at least 10 people have been found dead on Saturday, 42 injured, and 78 are still missing. The search has been complicated by the fact that there is no clear indication where in the building the estimated 47 missing workers were when it collapsed on Friday. Though more heavy equipment was brought in to move large amounts of rubble, hope was fading among friends and family members of the missing that they would be found alive. Concurrently, across Bangkok, engineers and government officials are now inspecting the integrity of the city's hundreds of skyscrapers, with residents of many high-rise buildings reporting cracks in walls and floors. Despite the city being more than 1,000 kilometers from the epicenter of Myanmar, quake and aftershocks were still felt in most of Thailand's provinces. Meanwhile, foreign rescue teams began flying into Myanmar on Saturday to aid the search for survivors in the impoverished Southeast Asian nation. A Chinese rescue team arrived in Myanmar's commercial capital of Yangon, hundreds of kilometers from the hard-hit cities of Mandalay and Nay Pi Thaw. Russia, India, and Singapore were also sending plane loads of relief supplies and personnel to Myanmar. Meanwhile, South Korea said it would provide an initial $2 million in humanitarian aid to Myanmar through international organizations, as the United States, which has a testy relationship with the Myanmar military and has sanctioned its officials, said it would provide some assistance. Back home, a special Malaysia Disaster Assistance and Rescue Team, SMART, has been deployed to assist in search and rescue SAR operations in Myanmar. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said that the team arrived in Yangon at about 1 p.m. on Saturday. In a post on his social media account, Zahid, who is also the National Disaster Management Committee chairman, stated that a humanitarian aid mission to Thailand is currently being coordinated and will be dispatched soon. On behalf of Malaysia, he expressed deep sorrow and sympathy over the disaster that claimed many lives in Myanmar, which also significantly impacted Thailand. Zahid added that reports indicate some victims remain trapped under collapsed structures, while rescue operations continue under challenging conditions. He further explained that the government, through the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, remains committed to enhancing regional cooperation in disaster management by providing expertise, technical assets, and logistical support to ease victims' suffering and expedite post-disaster recovery efforts. He also stressed that Malaysia stands in solidarity with the people of Myanmar and Thailand during this difficult time and will continue to play an active role in regional humanitarian assistance efforts. In the meantime, Foreign Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Hassan confirmed on Saturday that no Malaysians were affected by Friday's earthquake that caused extensive damage in Myanmar and shook neighbouring Thailand. Nevertheless, Wisma Putra will continue to closely monitor the situation in coordination with the Malaysian embassies in both countries. He added that Malaysia, through NADMA, will deploy a 50-member humanitarian and disaster relief team to Yangon, Myanmar, to support rescue and aid operations. As a member of ASEAN, Malaysia will also work together with other member states through the ASEAN Coordinating Center for Humanitarian Assistance to ensure that aid is delivered swiftly, systematically, and effectively to those in need. Meanwhile, the situation in Thailand has returned to normal, with essential services and businesses resuming operations on Saturday. Chargé d'Affaires ad interim of Malaysia to Thailand, Bong Yik Jui, confirmed that Malaysians in the country, particularly in Bangkok, are safe.
Situasi sekarang dah pulang kepada normal. Apa yang diumumkan ialah business have resumed operations and tourist attraction as well as various convention centers are open as usual. However, periodic assessment will continue to be conducted to ensure maximum safety.
He added that the Malaysian embassy in Bangkok has also been in touch with various community associations and on-duty officials to gather further information, as well as to ensure the safety and well-being of Malaysians who are currently in the country. Police are investigating the altercation between Kuala Lumpur City Hall DBKL enforcement officers and balloon vendors at Jalan Tunku Abdul Rahman in Kuala Lumpur on Friday night, which has gone viral on social media. A police report has been lodged by DBKL enforcement personnel involved in the incident, and the case is being investigated under the Penal Code for obstructing a public servant from carrying out their duties.
Jangan sampai macam ni bang, relax lah bang. Bang, jangan macam ni bang.
In the 11:50 p.m. incident, it was understood that DBKL enforcement officers conducting routine patrols had spotted several unlicensed vendors operating along the pedestrian walkway in the area. Their presence obstructed pedestrian movement and contributed to congestion in the popular shopping spot, especially with Aidilfitri celebrations approaching. When several enforcement officers approached a balloon vendor and told him to leave, the individual suddenly became aggressive and a scuffle broke out between them. Tensions escalated further as several other vendors attempted to intervene. DBKL stated in a statement that the situation was soon brought under control and they are currently probing the incident. Separately, Dangwangi Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Sulizmi Effendi Sulaiman assured a fair and transparent investigation, promising that action would be taken without favoritism. Now, the balloon vendor involved in the altercation with DBKL enforcement officers, Muhammad Zaimuddin Azlan, is currently receiving treatment at Serdang Hospital. His mother, Hasna Mat Isa, said that her son is in stable condition.
Tadi dia dah buat X-ray, tapi doktor nampak macam ada patah lah, macam ada patah lah.
She also revealed that Zaimuddin suffers from a hernia and sells balloons part-time to cover his medical expenses. Meanwhile, Kuala Lumpur Mayor Datuk Sri Maimuna Muhammad Sharif, when contacted, stated that DBKL will obtain statements from the enforcement personnel involved in the incident. It is also ready to improve existing standard operating procedures, SOPs, if necessary, to ensure that such incidents can be avoided in the future.
Jika perlu, DBKL akan menelitilah dan menambah baiklah prosedur SOP kita dalam tindakan penguatkuasaan untuk memastikan perkara-perkara ini yang tidak diingin dapat dielakkan lah. Itu satu. Yang kedua, kita juga akan meningkatkan lagi lah advokasi tentang pemahaman tata cara untuk menjalankan perniagaan dan peraturan-peraturan penjajaan di Kuala Lumpur.
Maimuna also urged the public to stop speculating as it could undermine enforcement efforts. She further reminded certain parties not to take advantage of the situation by spreading inaccurate information on social media. The Agriculture and Food Security Ministry has assured that the country's food supply remains stable ahead of the Hari Raya Aidilfitri celebrations. Its minister, Datuk Sri Muhammad Sabu, said that this was the result of cooperation between the government, farmers, poultry breeders and egg producers, along with efforts from his ministry, as well as the Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Ministry, KPDN. Muhammad said that although his ministry had received reports of supply shortages, the cases were minimal. However, he cautioned against complacency, warning that challenges to food security could arise unexpectedly due to factors such as natural disasters and disease outbreaks.
Tapi kita tidak boleh orang panggil feel good, selesa. Sebab hal makanan ni, keterjamian makanan ni dia bukan bila terjamin hari ini, tahun depan, tahun akan datang, kita tidak tahu.
Muhammad said this to reporters after attending the Semarak Shawwal program at the Taman Sri Andalas Farmers Market in Klang, Selangor on Saturday. He added that joint monitoring with KPDN has also helped control prices. He also noted that this was the first time in decades that prices had not increased in the lead-up to the festive season. Jalan Tuanku Abdul Rahman in the federal capital is and has always been known as the place to go to for Hari Raya Aidilfitri shopping. The busy street lined with multiple shops and vendor stalls selling Hari Raya essentials comes alive with people looking to complete last-minute shopping and hunt for the best deals. For more on this, let's go to Muhammad Nadir Asfar at Jalan Tar.
Well, thank you, Natasha. I'm here at Jalan Tuanku Abdul Rahman in Kuala Lumpur, where the already busy street is even more packed. Make a last-minute dash for the Hari Raya Aidilfitri essentials despite the rain. Many have come in groups with family and friends eager to complete their festive shopping before the celebrations begin. Earlier, I spoke to some of them about the rush and why they waited until now, while traders shared their experiences managing the surge in customers. With Hari Raya less than 48 hours away, many vendors are offering discounts to attract buyers.
Harga barang-barang saya dapati di Jalan Tar ni masih lagi boleh diterima, mampu kita beli lagi. Malah banyak juga lah fashion baru pakaian ni kan. Harga dia macam boleh diterima, mampu beli lagi dah. Di malam-malam yang 10 dah akhir ni saya dapati banyak barang-barang yang turun harga daripada harga asal pada permulaan Ramadan itu hari. Saya datang sini hanya beli pakaian je lah, baju Melayu, ya, macam kasut gitulah. Selain daripada itu beli juadah untuk berbuka puasa je lah. Saya memang setiap tahun apa ni datang di Jalan Tar ni kan, bukan setiap tahun, setiap bulan pun saya datang sebab barang-barang di sini mudah didapati, lagipun kemudahan lain-lain pun ada seperti tempat-tempat makan, pusat beli belah pun kira sebi-sebi ada lah di sini.
Tahun ni kira daripada tahun lepas kira okey sikit lah. So macam orang kata macam ada lah yang membeli banyak lah. So sekarang maksud dia yang last ni macam dah kurang lah.
Dah kurang lah, tapi awal-awal banyak lah.
Awal-awal banyak. Ada, mesti ada. Ada dalam 50 ke 40 macam tu.
Dia minggu terakhir ni orang ramai lah. Yang sudah-sudah tu kurang lah. Orang kurang masuk. Kecuali Sabtu Ahad tu ramai, tapi macam kurang membeli lah. Ada bagi diskaun.
Berapa banyak tu Kak?
Contoh kalau 300 tu kita bagi 30, 400 macam tu. Kalau yang 100 ni kita bagi 70 macam tu.
Pergi lantar ni dah 2 kali ni kali kedua. Kali kedua ni cari tudung lah, tudung wife kan. Saya tak ada, lebih kepada isteri je. Lebih kepada isteri dengan anak lah. Memang biasa tiap-tiap tahun akan belilah complete set lah kan. Anak sepasang, wife sepasang, saya sepasang lah. Memang tiap-tiap tahun akan beli. Itu sahaja. Kebanyakannya ada pilihan dia dekat Jalan Tar lah. Bergantung kepada individu juga lah.
And even at this late hour, the Aidilfitri Bazaar remains crowded with shoppers searching for traditional clothing, dresses and other festive must-haves. Some are also taking the opportunity to spend time with family in the capital during the holiday season. However, the overwhelming turnout has caused congestion on several roads leading to this area. That's all from me for now. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Nadir. Now, in Pulau Pinang, police arrested 14 men caught gambling inside a car workshop on Jalan Sungai Pinang, Georgetown, during an early morning raid on Saturday. The 2:30 a.m. operation was carried out by the Criminal Investigation Division of the Northeast District Police Headquarters. District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Abdul Rozak Muhammad stated that the raid followed police surveillance on the suspects, all locals aged between 27 and 57. Among the items seized were a table, 52 playing cards, 3 walkie-talkies and over 4,000 ringgit in cash. Preliminary investigations revealed that the suspects had been gambling for the past 5 days to raise money for purchasing Hari Raya clothes and travelling back to their hometowns for the festivities. Police also discovered that the betting amount for each round of gambling went up to 500 ringgit. All suspects have been remanded for 2 days until Sunday to assist with the investigation. The Malaysian property market recorded 384,060 transactions worth 162.97 billion ringgit in 2014, and the number has since increased by 9.5% in volume and 42.5% in value a decade later. The inflows of foreign direct investment, FDI, into the market have helped transform Malaysia into a more attractive destination for real estate investors. Knight Frank Malaysia Group Managing Director Keith Uy said that FDI inflows and infrastructure development projects help further raise the property market value.
FDI's foreign direct investment has been a game changer as well for us in Malaysia. So Malaysia have actually seen a substantial FDI inflows into the logistic, tech and manufacturing sector, leading to a high-value property transaction. So furthermore, completed an ongoing infrastructure development, the likes of MRT2, the LRT3, as well as the upcoming MRT3, raised investments of opportunities in our region as well.
He added that FDIs are also helping to shape Malaysia's future investment landscape rather than just supporting the country's growth.
Tech giants alone have actually invested USD 23.3 billion in Malaysia data center. So that's not just a short-term boost, that's a long-term infrastructure growth, supporting industrial, commercial, and even residential real estate.
Keith said this during an episode of TV3's flagship business and financial talk show, Money Matters, which was aired on Saturday. He also noted that upcoming projects such as the East Coast Rail Link, ECRL, and the Johor Bahru Singapore Rapid Transit System, RTS Link, are expected to create new property opportunities and help sustain the market momentum observed in 2024. Novak Djokovic, one win away from 100th career title. Sports after this breather.
Kotor dan jijik, premis sembelih ayam langgar syarat.
Dia punya dokumen pemborong, untuk borong ayam kena ada lesen borong.
Pekerja asing ambil alih tugas penyembelih bertauliah.
Patutnya kena ada kat sini lah. Tengok pas cakap apa, pukul 1 semalam. Tapi ayam dah sembelih.
Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Sebab satu, saya seorang tak ada siapa. Dua tempat orang. Nak minta tolong orang susah. Adik-beradik tak ada. Jadi sebagai satu cabaran, saya cari kerja betul-betul. Pencahayaan je tetap. InsyaAllah boleh jalan.
Kadang-kadang ada susu pekat tu, kita buat susu cair. Buat cair, bagi dia minum. Walaupun sikit. Macam mana pun, terpaksa juga.
Ramadan datang hanya setahun sekali. Jadi, mari kita indahkan memori dengan rancangan penuh ilmu sambil mendekatkan diri kepada Ilahi.
Telah difardukan ke atas kamu semua berpuasa
10 malam terakhir Ramadan.
Temukan jawapan atas bermacam permasalahan masyarakat.
Kita nak bagi sumbangan kepada mereka ini sempena bulan Ramadan, bulan yang penuh mubarak.
Salam Ramadan, indahkan memori di TV3.
Peninggalan rumah yang dekat Bengkulu ni banyak sangat arwah bapak akak. Pengenangan arwah bapak akak 31 ni je lagi.
Tiba kat kampung ni orang kata, jangan risaulah masalah makan. Semua dapat makan. Tradisi tu sampai hari ni lah, semua merasa.
Nak dapatkan kuih ni memang di penempatan orang Bengkulu je. Tapi sekarang kuih Bengkulu ni dah orang kata dah dikenali seluruh Malaysia.
Rasanya sedap macam ni.
Malam raya, kita akan takbir daripada rumah ke rumah. Kalau dulu sampai pukul 3 pagi pun ada, bawa balik.
We're back with sports cycling, the 2025 Tour of Thailand. Harif Saleh remained in high spirits after finishing 4th in the 6th and final stage on Friday. In the 144.4-kilometer stage from Watananakon to Aranya Pratet, the Terengganu cycling team TSG sprinter found himself boxed and lost the 3rd spot to Phoenixcom Hengshan cycling team's Roy Iftingbloem. TSG's Wan Abdul Rahman Hamdan was 6th, while Malaysian national team rider Irwandi Lakasek came in 12th, being the only other Malaysian in the top 20 in the 6th stage. St. George Continental's Nick Kurgozu won the stage in 3 hours 11 minutes and 41 seconds after pipping Rujai Insurance's Patompop Ponarjtan to the line. The final day's results saw TSG securing 3rd place overall in the team general classification. Turning to football, the German Bundesliga. German champions Bayer Leverkusen cut Bayern Munich's lead in the title race to 3 points after beating visitors VfL Bochum 3-1 on Friday. The hosts took only 20 minutes when Alex Garcia found enough space outside the box to drill home the opening goal. Bochum, however, bounced back 6 minutes later with Felix Pasluck firing in on a rebound after a save by Leverkusen keeper Lukas Hradecki. Leverkusen had to wait until the hour mark to regain the lead when Victor Boniface scored a tap-in. Amin Adli then sealed the win with a 3rd goal 3 minutes from time, securing 3 vital points for Xabi Alonso's side. With the victory, Leverkusen sits in 2nd place with 59 points, just 3 points behind Bayern. Tennis now, the 2025 Miami Open. Novak Djokovic is one victory away from a 100th career singles title after breezing past Grigor Dimitrov on Friday to reach the finals. The fourth seed overcame Dimitrov 6-2, 6-3 after reeling off 5 straight games to win the first set. Djokovic has triumphed in 99 of ATP Tour-level tournaments in his storied career. Of the 76 Grand Slams he has entered, the Serbian has won a men's record 24. He will next face unseeded Czech's Jakub Mensik in Sunday's final. Earlier, 19-year-old Czech Jakub Mensik outlasted American third seed Taylor Fritz 7-6, 4-6, 7-6 to advance to the Miami Open final. Mensik pounded 25 aces and despite never breaking Fritz's powerful serve, prevailed in both of the match's 2 taut tiebreaks, leaping onto the court and screaming after sealing the win. The Czech is now looking to go against the odds in winning his first ever ATP title. Indonesian Muslims to celebrate Idul Fitri on Monday. The details when Nightline returns.
Kotor dan jijik, premis sembelih ayam langgar syarat.
Dia punya dokumen pemborong, untuk borong ayam kena ada lesen borong.
Pekerja asing ambil alih tugas penyembelih bertauliah.
Patutnya kena ada kat sini lah. Tengok pas cakap kau pukul 1 semalam. Tapi ayam dah sebelah.
Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Ramadan bakal dirindui, kemeriahan Syawal semakin dirasai.
Kalau dikatakan slogan Bapak Borik Anak Rintik itu sangat tepatlah. Tapi dia lebih kepada semula jadi.
Biasanya DNA akan diambil daripada tulang. Tugas saya untuk memilih gigi yang sesuai untuk analisa DNA.
Barang-barang klasik ni dia cantik. Saya naklah tradisi kita tu orang tak lupa.
Selamat Hari Raya semua kepada penonton Nona. Semoga raya anda lebih bermakna tahun ini.
Kes yang selama ini kita dengar.
Dia bunuh anak kita. Campak pula tepi jalan.
Kini dirungkai satu persatu.
Dia pujuk untuk kembali tidak diterima. Aku dah tenang kau.
Daripada polis yang menyiasat.
Dia cuba nak larikan diri tapi terkena juga dia.
Wartawan yang membongkar dan pakar forensik yang menganalisis. Fail Mahkamah ada jawapannya. Setiap Rabu 9 malam. Indahkan memori Ramadan di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Tanyalah Ustaz minggu ini. Isnin makin hujung, makin hambar. Selasa malam ganjaran 1000 bulan. Rabu nak balik kampung siapa? Khamis raya sebulan. Bid'ah. Jumaat melarang berpada-pada. Sabtu air mata Ramadan. Ahad beraya tanpa kemaafan. Tanyalah Ustaz biar tahu jangan keliru di TV3 dan TV9. Stream juga melalui Tonton.
On to the foreign front. Indonesian officials said Muslims in the country will begin celebrating Idul Fitri on Monday, marking the end of the Ramadan month. Religious Affairs Minister Nasaruddin Umar at a press conference confirmed that first Shawwal will fall on March 31st, 2025. Previously, Muslims in the Republic began fasting on March 1st. The announcement followed the conclusion of the Isbat conference, which involved ministry officials, the Indonesian Ulama Council, astronomers, and members of the Indonesian House of Representatives, as well as representatives from embassies in Indonesia. Indonesia is the country with the world's largest Muslim majority, with 87% of its more than 282 million people adhering to Islam. The Zionist military has admitted that it fired on ambulances in the Gaza Strip after the body of a team leader was found almost a week after 6 rescuers went missing. In a statement on Friday, the regime said Israeli troops had opened fire toward the oncoming vehicles in Rafah, only to determine later that the vehicles were ambulances and fire trucks. The day after the incident, Gaza's Civil Defense Agency said it had not heard from a team of 6 rescuers who had been urgently dispatched to respond to deaths and injuries. On Friday, it reported finding the body of the team leader and the rescue vehicles and said a vehicle from the Palestine Red Crescent Society was also reduced to a pile of scrap metal. Hundreds of thousands of people gathered in Istanbul on Saturday to protest against the jailing of Mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu, marking the largest demonstrations Turkey has seen in more than a decade. Hundreds of thousands waving Turkish flags and banners poured into the seafront rally grounds at Maltepe on the Asian side of Istanbul for Saturday's Freedom of İmamoğlu rally, organized by the main opposition Republican People's Party, CHP. Protests have been mostly peaceful, but nearly 2,000 people have been detained. CHP, other opposition parties, rights groups and Western powers have all said the case against İmamoğlu is a politicized effort to eliminate a potential electoral threat to Erdogan. However, the government denies any influence over the judiciary and says the courts are independent. As we wrap up Nightline this time around, let's take a look as Bosnian Muslims gather to break their fast in traditionally decorated homes and scenic lookout points as Ramadan comes to an end. With that, I'm Natasha. Thank you for watching, and to our Muslim viewers, Selamat Bersahur.